네, 참석자 여러분들께 다시 한번 안내 말씀드리겠습니다.
So let me give you a couple of housekeeping notes. In 5 minutes, we are going to start the opening ceremony of the 21st Century Human Value Forum. Those who stand outside in the lobby, please come inside the room and be seated. And I would like to ask you to turn off your mobile phone or turn them into the silent mode. Simultaneous interpretation service will be provided. You may see the receiver on the table. So when you are using the receiver, please put the earphone first and then turn on the receiver. Korean channel 1, English channel 2, Japanese channel 3. And also this forum will be aired YouTube. So when you type down the 10th 21st Century Human Value Forum, you can easily watch this forum online. So from 2:05, we are going to start the opening ceremony. I would like to ask all of you to be seated. Thank you.
다시 한번 참석자 여러분들께 안내 말씀드립니다.
So now we are going to start the opening ceremony of the 10th 21st Century Human Value Forum. So those who stand outside, please come inside and be seated. And now we are going to start the opening ceremony of the 10th 21st Century Human Value Forum. Thank you.
네, 이제 바로 제10회 21세기
Now we are going to start the 10th 21st Century Human Value Forum opening ceremony. So all the participants are asked to be seated. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. That was wonderful and beautiful classic performance. So now I'd like to give you violinist Professor Yang Ko-eun and cellist Professor Lee Kang-ho and pianist Ms. Park Young-sung. Would you like to give them a warm round of applause? Well, thank you so much. So it is honor to have the classic performance before we start our forum today. Well, I'd like to now give you some explanations regarding the performance, if I may. So the first performance you listened to was a part of series of the classic Falling in Love with the Confucianism. So the first of the series was linking Confucianism and heaven worshipping thought. And also we believe that there is common thread between the classic and Confucianism. And the performance was well acclaimed by the attendants in its performance. Also, the second piece you listened was also a linking series for today's thought of the poet and also the classic musician of Smetana with Dima Vlast, who was a nationalist musician. Once again, I'd like to now ask you to join me in giving them a big hand for their wonderful performance. So with that series of classic Falling in Love with Confucianism, we're now very happy to give you the opening of the 10th Human Value Forum.
Good afternoon. My name is Soyeon Lee. I'm the moderator of the opening ceremony of the 10th 21st Century Human Value Forum. Thank you very much. So the city Andong International Conference Center, distinguished guests and speakers from home and abroad, and all the participants, both online and offline, welcome. So for more and more participants to join us, this forum is aired on YouTube as well. So I would like to give my thanks to our online participants as well. So before the opening statement, how did you enjoy the classical performance that marked the beginning of the forum? Through the combination of classical music and Confucius studies, the idea of raising the spiritual culture and shedding new light on the way of life seems quite necessary to all of us living in 2023. Thanks to remarkable advancement of technologies and economy, we have now come to enjoy greater prosperity. However, at the same time, they have also brought a host of challenges that require new ethics, morals, and definition of humanities. In this 10th 21st Century Human Values Forum, we will ask the first question about humanity and life today, which is humanitas, redefining who and what we are, and also explore its value and meaning by looking into human nature. So, now we are going to start the opening ceremony of the 10th 21st Century Human Value Forum. Before the opening ceremony, let me introduce the programs of the forum for the next 3 days. Please refer to the program table on the screen. So first today, we will have the opening ceremony and keynote speech, and a special session on International Humanities City Conference, The Modern World and the Human Value will be held from 4 p.m. And on the second floor, there will be sessions for nature of human, including thinking human, questioning humanities, and wisdom of life, all of which will be held simultaneously. On the second day of the forum, it will be started with the children's musical Octonaut at 10:30 a.m. in this conference room, followed by the Youth Humanities Exchange, Culture of Humanistic Spirit and Content. Julia Liu, a musical composer, will deliver a lecture at the session. After this, a youth concert will be held under the theme of In Search of Authenticity to emphasize and communicate with the present and future of the youth. In addition, a session titled Asking for Humanity Again will be held in the second floor conference room. and a session called Youth Humanities Activities for a Sustainable Future will also be held. On Sunday, October 29, the final day of the forum, the closing ceremony will be held together with feature sessions on humanistic values, followed by a film concert to discuss the historical significance of the Korea-US alliance. And also, the closing ceremony will feature a special lecture by Dennis Noble, Emeritus Professor at Oxford and a pioneer in systems biology. This concludes our three-day forum program and brief introduction. We hope you will take a look at the many programs we didn't get to capture, and then you'll be able to attend and experience them in person over the course of the three-day event.
오늘의
Having said that, I would like to now have your attention to the theme video with the stories to be covered by the 10th 21st Century Human Value Forum. Please enjoy. Maybe we might be able to define our life as a long, long journey throughout which we are struggling to gain profound meaning of our own existence. The world has really undergone tremendous changes. Just like grains of sand carried by the ebb and flow of ocean waves, we often find ourselves adapting to the rapid changes of this evolving world, unknowingly becoming integral members of a modern society. The society at large encourages us not to succumb to external influences, but to find a way to live authentically as ourselves. Then what does living authentically as ourselves mean? In the midst of fundamental questions about humanity and persistent problems in the modern society, the 21st Human Values Forum has been seeking solutions both on an individual and collective level as a group. Believing that the brighter future of the humanity hinges on human values, the 21st Century Human Values Forum is actively preparing for the decade ahead and beyond. We are about to commence a three-day journey during which we will both encounter and shape our own selves.
네, 여러분.
So please give a round of applause. So as you have watched in the video, human, who are we and what we are? For a better future and for happier lives, we need to think about what would be the right future for both of us. And I would like to ask you to join our three-day journey to the end and explore the right answer together. So, out of very busy schedule, a lot of participants and distinguished guests are here today. So it is a time to sense and feel the true meaning of the 21st Century Human Value Forum. So I would like to give my deep thanks to all of you. So I want to name all of them, but due to time constraint, I would like to ask for your kind understanding for not saying so. But I would like to give my deep thanks to all the distinguished guests and participants here for joining us.
드립니다, 여러분.
Thank you so much. Thank you once again. Moving on, let me now invite Chairman Lee Hee-bum of KFCE, organizer of this event, to the stage for his opening remark of this forum 2023. Chairman Lee, please welcome him with a big round of applause. Thank you very much, and very nice to see you all. The 21st Century Human Value Forum has now been officially a decade old. I'm sure that the message will be aired to you in a minute, but I'm very happy to say that we just have received these congratulatory remarks by President Yoon Suk-yeol, so you'll be able to watch what he will deliver later. And also, we have a lot of academicians and also participants here today. I'd like to extend my warmest welcome and gratitude to all of you. My thanks should also go to Her Excellency Arina Bokova, the 10th Secretary General of UNESCO, and also academicians of humanity in and outside the country with various meaningful discussions, and mayors of very renowned cities, again from home and abroad.
We discussed that it took a very long time, more than 4 or 5 years, to realize you're coming to the city of Andong, capital city of spiritual cultural city of Andong. Thank you again, and welcome mayors and distinguished guests. Welcome to join us to the forum today. Thank you again. And 오늘 아울러 오늘 3회를 맞는.
So we have now the third Human Value Award this year. We will have the awardees announced later, but I'd like to also send my congratulations to these awardees, Mr. Lee Yong-tae in individual category and Honorable Dojin Buddhist in group category. I do not have time to introduce each and every one of the VIPs, but I'd like to now give my thanks to President Kwan of the Andong University. Also, I'd like to extend my welcome to the Chairman Kang Dong-yeon, Chairman Kim Oh-kyun, and also Professor Emeritus of Seoul National University, Kim Kwang-yeon. Also, we have Mr. Kwon Hee-dong, who's the Mayor of Andong City, who has been an ardent supporter of this event. Also, we have many renowned people, also these members of the Andong office who has given us the good support financially as well. Also, with these very important people, I have the honor of announcing the opening of the 10th forum. While we have been pursuing this opening of the Human Value Forum, I believe that the Andong City has double luck because it also has another very important event. And also Andong City is now inviting all the governors of the country. 11 governors are now visiting in Andong. So I'm very happy to say that Andong is now having all the important celebrities and also VIPs for their events. And the Gyeongbuk governor, Lee Chang-uk, could not present himself here because of the other event held also in Andong. So he made a phone call this morning to say sorry that he couldn't be here. So I'd like to convey his message on behalf of him to extend his wishes. So although they were not here, some of them, I believe that Andong is very fortunate to have all these important events. In order to pursue the values of the Davos, this organization was first established in 2013 in Andong. So with a view to making the humanity, tradition, and spiritual culture made in Korea, we have this activities for creating the world, humanity, dignity, and rights. However, adverse things have also happened in the meantime. Wars have broken out, and human dignity has been under threat because all these activities nowadays. However, the ethics and morality have to be required in our society. Even though Korean society is boasting its value as the human dignity, we are now experiencing a lot of criminal cases in Korea. Murders are happening, and also the people's spiritual condition has gone down because we are watching all these kind of sorrow events happening on television. So I'm very saddened to see the loss of this humanitas nowadays. Therefore, it is time for us to pick it up and also have the new starting. Why don't we just look upon ourselves about what we are and also who we are? And I believe that by asking these very important questions, we will be able to garner the identity of humanity. Also, this year marks the 70th anniversary of the ROK-US Alliance, Republic of Korea and the U.S. The alliance started long ago, and also in conjunction with that, we also prepared a venue for the youth of Korea and the U.S. For example, we have Julia Hisu Ryu, the third-generation Korean American, who is a graduate of Harvard University and a storyteller of Shimcheong, which is a traditional story of Korea. We also have a lot of students attending here. And also tomorrow, President Lee of KAIST, Korean Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, will make a speech. We will also have a session of having the meetings between the East and the West under the name of Da Vinci, and we will be able to explore what are the comparisons to make between the two different sides of the culture. Such deep ideas and explorations have been prepared throughout our forum days. Defining ourselves is really important for us to make the foundation toward the peace and prosperity of the humanity. I really hope that we can have a big picture for the human beings beyond the religion and thought. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now here to talk about the present and future of Humanitas altogether. So I really hope that you can get a lot of things and you can find our forum useful. Once again, with the 10th anniversary of the 21st Century Human Value Forum, I really hope that our ideas can spread across the world so that we can achieve a country and also world of human dignity and also meaning of our humanitas. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman Lee, from the Foundation of Korean Spirit and Culture. So as he mentioned, based on our theme, we can redefine our existence and we can reflect on human nature. So we can have very meaningful and productive discussion about the value of humanities. Thank you for your message again. And next, extending sincere wishes for the success of this event, President Yoon Suk-yeol delivered his congratulatory message. On behalf of the President, I will read his message. Congratulations for the opening of the 10th 21st Century Human Value Forum. I would like to give my gratitude to all the leading scholars from home and abroad and Andong citizens. The forum, which is held under the topic of redefining humanities, who and what we are, is expected to provide an opportunity to consolidate the spirit of humanities for better future and prosperity. I would like to extend my deepest congratulations for the 10th anniversary of the forum and sincerely expect you share and spread wisdom and insights of our great ancestors of Andong. Thank you. October 27, 2023, President of Republic of Korea, Yoon Suk-yeol. Please give a round of applause. So out of his very busy schedule, I would like to give my deep thanks again for his congratulatory message to this forum.
이어서는
Moving on, we'd like to now have the session to recognize those contributors to the improvement of human values. So that is why we have the award ceremony. First of all, please watch the video to explain what award is about. The 2023 Human Value Award aims at creating and disseminating a spiritual culture based on the 21st human values. Launched in 2021, this award recognizes and promotes exemplary practices in public and private sectors. In group category, the award is presented to companies in corporations and groups that have built systematic human value initiatives to enhance the quality. In the individual category, the award goes to individuals who have disseminated human values through their exemplary actions. And also, we are providing those contributors, including social activists, educators, and researchers. The Human Value Award is associated with social community and through the human value practices.
영상으로
So we have seen this award ceremony by video. So now we are going to proceed the ceremony of Humanities Value Award. The awards will be given in the order of the grand prize for individual and for the organization. So, on behalf of the Minister of Culture, Sports and Tourism, Chairman Lee from the Korea Foundation for Culture and Ethics will deliver the award. Please give him a round of applause. The individual award for human value is given to social activists, educators, and researchers, and professionals and artists who have contributed to the spread of humanistic value and the development of the nation and society through the leading practice of humanistic value activities. So now we are going to present the grand prize for the individual. The one who is named is asked to come up to the stage. The grand prize winner in the individual category is Mr. Yong-tae Lee. Please come up to the stage. Chairman Yong-tae Lee has been engaged in research and education at various organizations such as Ewha Women's University and the Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, and established and operated Sambo Computer. He played a pioneering role in the information and telecommunication field in Korea, while laying the foundation for the creation and spread of a culture of humanistic value. And now we are going to give him a grand prize. The award, Grand Prize, Yong-tae Lee. The person's hard endeavors and achievements to spread humanistic values are highly recognized, thereby being selected as an awardee for the 2023 Grand Prize Award of Humanistic Value. October 27, 2023, Minister of Culture, Sports and Tourism, Yoo In-chon. Congratulations. The chairman will now present the prize with flowers. There will be a commemorative photo. Gentlemen, Mr. Lee, Chairman Lee, please put your board. Thank you very much. Please give him a round of applause. So please go back to your seat. Thank you, Chairman Lee, and also congratulations, Mr. Yong-tae Lee. So the next category to be awarded is the Excellence Award for Organizations. The Humanistic Value Award for Organization is given to companies, corporations and organizations that have established a systematic humanistic value activity system to improve the quality of human life in the 21st century digital era and have contributed to the national and social development. The Humanities Value Award for Excellence in the Organization category, Mr. Yoon Sang-hwan, Director of Culture Industry Department from the Bureau of Culture Tourism from Northern Gyeongsang Provincial Government. Please give him a round of applause.
Without further ado, let us begin the group category Grand Prize Award. Award of Grand Prize in group category, The Promise. Congratulations. His Excellency Do-jin will come forward and receive the award. The Promise is a private group, disaster relief and rescue that practices respect for life, and it has been launched in 2008 by Buddhist monks, and it is a non-profit organization under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It has been working for the disaster recovery and relief in many of the countries in the world. Now, the award goes to The Promise. This award is presented as a recognition of your efforts and accomplishment to disseminate human values as the grand prize for 2023 Human Value Award in group category. So it is presented by KFCE, Korea Foundation for Culture and Arts Education, Governor of Gyeongsang-Buk-do, Lee Chul-woo, October 27, 2023. Congratulations. And Mr. Yoon will present prize money, board, and flower wreath. We'll also have a photo-taking moment here and now. This is a very honorable moment. I really hope that you can have a good memory of taking this photo. And the audience, please, would you like to join me in giving them a big hand? So thank you very much for having this event. Thank you so much. So my deep congratulations to The Promise. So now I would like to express my appreciation to all the people who have helped me in this award, President Lee Hee-bum and Mr. Yoon Sang-hwan. Also, my congratulations go to all the awardees. As mentioned, through the practices in action of the human values, we also have a lot of people who have made tremendous contributions. Out of them, we had a very strict screening processes. So we had 2 rounds of these screenings, first based on the document and second on their presentations. For the individual category, we looked at very important criteria items such as ethics, sustainability, social contribution, national and regional development, improvement of quality of life, social and cultural impact, human value dissemination, and official period. So 5 of the judges were having their time spent on this criteria and selection. Also for the group category, a rigorous criteria was used as well for their selection using a total 8 items such as ethical management, sustainable management, social responsibility, national and regional development, higher quality of public life, economic impact, social and cultural impact, and human value dissemination. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all the judges and staff members who have made efforts for very fair assessment. So congratulations once again to all the awardees and recipients. We hope that your activities for human value can be further continued and increased. My wish is that these awardees can be a center of growing our spirit with various activities as a model for the new human value creation in the 21st century. The critical mind on humane life and future vision can be further enhanced. Wishing them further and bigger roles in the future, let's give them another big round of applause of congratulations and also gratitude. Now, this concludes the award ceremony of 2023 Human Value Award.
So next we will have a performance to open the 10th 21st Century Human Value Forum. When I name the guest, please come up to the stage and stand in line following the instruction. So, Mr. Yoon Sang-hwan, Gyeongsang Provincial Government, please come up to the stage. And Andong City Government, Vice Mayor Shin. And next, from Dosan Academy, Mr. Kim. Please come up to the stage. And Andong City Council, Chairman Yeo. And Korea Spiritual Foundation, Mr. Lee, Chairman Lee. And Secretary General, the 10th Secretary General UNESCO, Ms. Irina Bokova. And President Jung from Andong University. And Mr. Kim, the Research Center of Taege Academy. And Julia Liu, the speaker for tomorrow's session. And Mr. Kim, Emeritus Professor from Seoul National University. So, 10 distinguished guests are on the stage. So the acrylic cubes held by our guests are engraved with symbols of the yearly theme of the 21st Century Human Value Forum, which was launched in 2014. So the first symbol is traditional human value, and empathy and consideration, togetherness and sharing and togetherness, life, the fourth industrial revolution, diversity, sympathy and caring, transformation, and humanities. So the issue of the year was fully looked into for better future. So we have run for 10 years for better lives of human beings. And by placing the cubes containing the 10 values we have shared on the performance wall behind, we will launch the beginning of the 10th 21st Century Human Value Forum. So now, as all of us say together, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to ask our guests on stage to place the cubes in their hands on the performance wall behind them. So are you ready? So it seems that all of you are ready. And now we are going to start the performance. So please follow after me. Let's all chant together. 1, 2, 3. And on 3, you can put the cube inside the wall. Okay? Let's all chant together. The 10th Human Value Forum. We are now going to start the 10th forum. 1, 2, 3. So symbolizing the 10 symbols of the 21st Century Human Value Forum, we are going to mark the start of the 10th forum. So starting today, under the theme of redefining humanities, who and what we are, we will spend 3 days exploring and reflecting on human nature to renew the value and meaning of humanity. So wishing for the great success of the 10th Human Value Forum, please give a round of applause. Thank you very much. Now we are going to take photos of our guests on stage. For the official press release, the event photographer will take photos, and then we will give reporters to take their time. So, the event photographer. So I would like to ask all the distinguished guests on stage, please look at the camera with a big smile. So I would like to ask the reporters to take photo. So humanities, who and what we are under this topic. All the leading scholars at home and abroad are here. And we are going to share our knowledge and insight together in a number of different sessions. This is the 10th 21st Century Human Value Forum. I would like to ask for your attention and kind interests. Thank you to all the distinguished guests, and please go back to your seat. So I would like to ask you to give a round of applause again to all the distinguished guests on the stage. So for today's 10th 21st Century Human Value Forum, marking the 10th anniversary, all the different 10 values have been identified. And in order to make it as a sustainable conference, we did some chant and countdown together. In 2014, it was first launched. And ever since then, under the modern world, the Confucius human value, sharing, and also togetherness, and insights, and community, solidarity, life, and also the fourth industrial revolution, inclusive value of humanities and cultural diversity, and also the social value, empathy, and transformation, and humanities, who and what we are. With all these different types of themes and topics, we have run 10 years for this forum. So all these 10 values were contained in the cubes. So we just opened the start of this forum. This cube has different meaning, but by combining them together, we can become one. Likewise, all of us are living in our own manner. However, by closely work together, we can truly become united. So the performance wall with cubes representing the value of the decade will be displayed together as a photo zone in the lobby after the opening ceremony. You can take a photo and also have some cherished moments.
다음 순서를
This now leads to the next session. We will now invite Her Excellency Irina Bokova, the 10th UNESCO Secretary General. Let me now introduce her. Her Excellency served as the first woman Secretary General of UNESCO between 2009 and 2017. She was also selected as the most influential woman by Forbes. To celebrate the 10th 21st Century Human Value Forum and make it more valuable, she will start our forum with her theme of human value blossoming with education and culture. Under the vision of realizing happy individual and elegant community with human values, her speech is highly expected to give us moments to think about what human values can be realized with education and culture. And also for this opening ceremony, if you watch the screen, Her Excellency will speak while graphic recording will be made on the screen using the high technology. Let me further explain that technology later. Without further ado, now I'd like to give you Her Excellency Irina Bokova to the stage. Please welcome her with a big round of applause.
Dear Mr. Hee-bom Lee, President of Korea Foundation for Culture and Ethics, mayors, academics, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I'm very honored to be invited as a speaker to this 21st Century Human Values Forum, which is being held for 10 years already, hosted by the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism, Andong City, the Korea Foundation for Culture and Ethics, and sponsored by UNESCO's Korean National Commission. This was indeed a wonderful opening today, and I'm privileged to be here after so many prominent speakers and personalities, not least the former United Nations Secretary General, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, with whom I have worked closely during my time as UNESCO Director General, and I continue working as a member of the board of the Ban Ki-moon Center for Global Citizens. And I have to add, to whom I feel deep respect. I believe it is not a coincidence that these important fora are being held here in Andong, the capital of the Korean spiritual culture, with diverse traditional heritages, literally meaning peaceful land in the East. Andong is well known as a place of respect and courtesy and a heir to 5,000 years of traditions. The city boasts 3 UNESCO World Heritage categories: World Heritage, Intangible Cultural Heritage, and Memory of the World. Talchum, the mask dance drama in the Republic of Korea, was inscribed on the representative list of the Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity just last year. And I personally have had already the pleasure of strolling along the charming Andong Hanoi Folk Village, a UNESCO World Heritage Site in the Republic of Korea. This forum's theme, redefining who or what we are, human nature and ethics, is extremely relevant in a world that is going through a profound change, and it resonates deeply with my experience at UNESCO. Indeed, the concept of human nature and ethics has been debated among scholars for a long time, with different views on their nature and role. But the current crisis of unprecedented intensity, the COVID-19, the conflicts, and the climate change brought about the imperative to mobilize decision makers, institutions, intellectuals, general public around the world to promote a comprehensive, integrated, person-centered approach to enhance the security, the human rights, and sustainable development of people everywhere, and to address all the critical issues confronting the world today, including peace, human rights, inequality, health, food security, education, jobs, safe communities and personal safety, energy, pollution, biodiversity, and of course, climate change. These crises and the consequences thereof has a wake-up call for putting human security and well-being to the forefront of public policies. One sure path is investing in people, in economies and societies that are clean, green, safe, sustainable, and more resilient. And it starts with education. We all know that education is the foundation of human development. It is vital for our health, jobs, gender equality, the protection of the environment, risk reduction, climate change, and living together in respect for diversity. In other words, education is where our future lies. But not any education. Education that means learning, that is transformative and equitable, that embraces innovation and diversity, and that encourages creativity and the possibility to make choices. Education that supports students and other learners in different areas to develop necessary knowledge, skills, and mindsets to contribute to solving complex sustainable development challenges our world faces today. I would not pretend to exhaust all the challenges regarding the future of education, but let me just mention a couple of important points. We need to reconfirm to our commitment to sustainable development and the United Nations Agenda 2030, with education and health at its heart from the point of view of human security, and this is my starting point. If we want to promote a comprehensive, integrated, person-centered approach to enhance the security, human rights, and sustainable development of people everywhere. This is where the importance of Goal 4 of Sustainable Development Goal, promoting inclusive, equitable, quality education and lifelong learning for all, comes with all its critical importance for the future. And it was here in Korea, in Incheon, at a major United Nations conference that this goal was adopted. At present, the ways we organize education across the world is not enough to ensure just and peaceful societies, a healthy planet, and shared progress that benefits all. In fact, some of our difficulties stem from how we educate. A new social contract for education needs to allow us to think differently about learning and the relationships between students, teachers, knowledge, and the world. And this is the main idea of the report on the futures of education launched by an international commission 2 years ago under the President of Ethiopia, Sahle-Work Zewde. As the report emphasizes, education has long played a foundational role in the transformation of human societies. It connects us with the world and with each other. It exposes us to new possibilities and strengthens our capacities for dialogue and action. But to shape peaceful, just, and sustainable futures, education itself must be transformed. The report reconfirms Goal 4 of the SDG agenda, ensuring the right to quality education throughout life, which must continue to be the foundation of this new social contract for education. Let me emphasize that long interpreted as the right to schooling for children and youth, it goes further in that it must also encompass the right to information, to culture and science, as well as the right to access and contribute to the knowledge commons, the collective knowledge, resources of humanity that have been accumulated over generations and are continuously transforming. What we need to emphasize again and again is strengthening the understanding of education as a public endeavor and as a common good, as a shared societal endeavor. Education builds common purposes and enables individuals and communities to flourish together. My second point, ladies and gentlemen, is about the science, technology, and ethics. It is more than obvious that in an increasingly globalized and interconnected world, the advancement of science and technology has brought enormous opportunities for growth, for poverty eradication, solving challenges of health, of pandemics. At the same time, inequalities between countries and within societies are not only growing, but represent a real challenge for human dignity, for social inclusion, for sustainable development, and in some areas for peace. And within this debate, the questions of justice and ethics should take their proper place. Ethics of development, ethics of scientific research, ethics of climate change, the three issues that I would like briefly to tackle here. When it comes to ethics of development, There is hardly a more conspicuous example of a just and equitable approach than the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and its ultimate goal: leave no one behind. People who are hardest to reach should be given priority. This, I would say, is the underlying moral imperative of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and its profound ethical foundation. Its adoption unanimously by 193 heads of state and government at the headquarters in September 2015, under the leadership of the then Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, made clear for the first time in the history of humanity that ethics is not a luxury that some cannot afford, but the foundation of development. The second aspect is related to ethics of scientific research. I know this is a vast area which becomes increasingly relevant and necessary within the exciting new artificial intelligence discoveries and research. Here, I will touch base briefly on the issues of SDG, implementation, equity, and scientific research. I'm convinced that science holds today some of the key questions the answers to some of the key questions that we must address today. Questions about the equitable and inclusive growth, about sustainable development, about the resilience of our societies, risk reduction, oceans, peace, and better livelihoods. Science plays indeed a vital role here. Science leads to knowledge, and science is fueled by diversity and cooperation. Science drives progress forward. In this regard, again, 2015 was a defining moment to strengthen the role of science in global policies. On the one hand, the role of scientific research has been critical to achieve the landmark Paris Climate Change Agreement, to set the world on a new path to sustainability. This was indeed, and still is, an ambitious agreement, and we need more science to take it forward, to monitor progress, to meet its stakes. On the other hand, for the first time at this level, and with such clarity, the role of science, technology, and innovation has been explicitly recognized as a driver of sustainability in the Agenda 2030. So, the complexities of challenges today calls for an even greater expansion of human knowledge, for a new unity across the sciences, for enhanced connections between scientific and traditional knowledge. As the Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, mentioned last month during the United Nations Summit on the SDGs, rescuing the Sustainable Development Goals has become the paramount challenge of our era as we confront the cascading crises that threaten their implementation and even our very existence. The clock is ticking, yet sadly, our collective response has fallen tragically short of the urgency required to attain the goals. It is undeniable already that we are careening off course, with the latest forecast ominously predicting that not a single nation will meet the ambitions of the goals by the 2030 deadline. The gravity of the situation demands immediate and decisive action to steer us back on track and ensure sustainable future for generations to come. Global science is essential in this effort, generating the evidence that helps us keep up with increased complexity and pace of change, developing the game-changing solutions that support the needed critical changes of our business as usual, and accelerating promising actions in our quest for sustainability. To succeed, we need stronger science. We need more connecting science. We need science that is more deeply integrated into policy making. Science flourishes through dialogue, through the interaction of peoples and cultures, through the meeting of minds. But we need ethical science as well. I believe we need a new paradigm for education, science, technology, and innovation. Science for poverty alleviation and for the protection of the environment. Science that eliminates and bridges inequalities. Progress has no meaning if it is only benefiting the few. If it doesn't eliminate poverty, reduce inequalities, protect the world we live in. That is why I deeply believe that education, science, technology, and innovation, together with culture and cultural protection, stand at the heart of the new global agenda, because it is vital for the creation of knowledge, vital for economic growth, but also for social inclusion. In short, it is vital for the sustainability of all development. As a patron of the International Science Council, the largest organization of its kind to bring together natural and social sciences, with a member of over 200 international scientific unions and associations, as well as national and regional scientific organizations, I deeply believe not only that science is a global public good, but the scientific knowledge, data, and expertise must be universally accessible, and also its benefits universally shared, and that the practice of science must be inclusive, equitable, free, and responsible. And what is most important, when I say science, I mean all sciences, both natural, social, and humanities. Only a strong interdisciplinary approach can give us the right answers today about how we tackle scientific progress and its impact on our societies. UNESCO indeed has a long history of major contributions to understanding the ethics of science. The World Commission on the Ethics of Scientific Knowledge and Technology, COMEST, a scientific advisory body to UNESCO, has clarified through its reports that ethics standards should help link climate change and to all the rest of the goals and targets for sustainable development, because there is the interlinkages between all the SDGs. It adopted a major declaration, and it represents a powerful means to support and advance coordinated joint action among not only states, but also other stakeholders like the civil societies, university, academics, and local communities. It thus was meant to mobilize and sensitize people on universal principles and concerns. They go beyond the mere technical discourses on climate change. The adoption of this declaration on ethics and climate change testified again to the necessity to promote ethical science, science which shares the benefits of progress for all, that protects the planet from ecological collapse, and which creates a solid basis for peaceful cooperation. UNESCO has hosted the International Bioethics Committee since 1993 and COMEST since 1998. From then, they have been the only global, multidisciplinary and pluralistic fora for bioethics and ethics of science and technology. UNESCO indeed has a leading role at the United Nations level and globally in the field of bioethics and science and technology due to the other UNESCO normative instruments, the Universal Declaration on the Human Genome and Human Rights, the International Declaration on Human genetic data, the Universal Declaration on Bioethics and Human Rights, and the UNESCO recommendation, the last one, on science and scientific researchers adopted in 2017. I would say that the importance also of UNESCO's work definitely lies in its capacity building programs to implement those important instruments. And these normative instruments are, in many cases, the only global such platforms available that constitute an ethical framework for science and a basis for regional and national legislation in these domains. Today, when some speak about the fusion of technologies that is blurring the lines between the physical, digital, and biological spheres, there is an increasing need for higher education and for academics to search for responses for their positive economic, social, environmental impacts, as well as the challenges they represent for all of us. Many experts insist that effective education strategy must include in equal measure a deep consideration of the human, the ways in which new technologies and shifting economic power impact people of all socio-economic levels, and the threats that exist within a world that is increasingly digital, interconnected, in a way that should foster deep intercultural understanding. Let me quote the great French intellectual and thinker of the 20th century, Claude Lévi-Strauss, who was for some time closely linked with UNESCO and influenced the thinking about race, ethnicity, culture, and diversity. He did influence also the thinking behind the linkages between the humanities and natural sciences, a topic that is very high on the agenda nowadays of educators, scientists, and thinkers. He famously said, recommending the unification of methodological thinking between the exact sciences and the human scientists, the speculations, and he added, the speculations of the earliest geometers and mathematicians were concerned with men far more than with the physical world, giving example with Pythagoras, for one, who was deeply interested in the anthropological significance of numbers and figures, as were the sages of Asians, of India, the pre-colonial Africa, the pre-colonial America, and who were also preoccupied with the meaning and specific attributes of numbers. And here, I would like to make a strong case for promoting humanities, that I have been also a strong advocate all my tenure as Director General of UNESCO. And this is my third point. It is indeed through humanities, unfortunately neglected for quite some time, that we understand the social transformation of our societies and the way to manage it for the benefit of all. It is through humanities that we understand and get to know the history of others. It is through humanities that we understand better the challenges of globalization. It is through humanities that we can understand and embrace cultural diversity as a strength and not as a threat. It is through humanities that we can foster new global citizenship in an era of diversity, which is the meaning of the new concept of global citizenship education inscribed in the Target 7 of the United Nations Agenda Goal number 4. And I would like to pay tribute to Korea once again for supporting UNESCO in this quest, because the first Humanities Forum under the auspices of UNESCO, and I'm very happy to have here Professor Kim with us, we worked with him on this first Humanity Forum that was held more than 10 years ago in Busan was a strong push for all of us to integrate this concept in the SDG agenda. I believe that teaching philosophy or history of arts is fundamental for the opening of young minds towards the diversity and the other. It is the constant challenge of the present that can make one imagining and reinventing the future. A book or a lesson of history or philosophy may change the perception of the world, may instill empathy or a sense of belonging. And I also deeply believe that knowing one's own history, culture, and heritage creates a sense of belonging. Knowing others' history, culture, and heritage creates a sense of sharing, empathy, and solidarity. As the American historian Drew Faust, the first woman to serve as president of Harvard University for more than 10 years, and who was a passionate defender of teaching humanities, said recently, and I quote, "How can we create minds capable of innovation if they're unable to imagine a world different from the one in which we live now?" History teaches contingency. It demonstrates that the world has been different and could and will be different again. Anthropology can show that societies are and have been different elsewhere, across space as well as time. Literature can teach us many things, but not least those ones of empathy, how to picture ourselves inside another person's head, life, experience, how to see the world through a different lens, which is what the study of the arts offers us as well. If this was true in the pre-pandemic world when she said these words, it is even more relevant today. So I believe that one of the important challenges is how to introduce within the digital platforms the issues of values and global ethics. And I know that you will be debating these so important topics during this conference. While new skills and reskilling is important for a new digital economy that is emerging much faster than we envisaged, the challenge indeed now is how to instill in its digital content values that are of enormous importance for humanity: ethics, solidarity, empathy, respect for the other, a strong sense of humanity bound by common challenges and by our common destiny. Every major technological revolution sets in motion a concurrent revolution in work, skills, and in education. With the development of organized agriculture thousands of years ago, foragers settled on farms. During the Industrial Revolution, steam engines drove those farmers into factories. In the late 20th century, the arrival of the personal computer swapped machines for monitors and nowadays laptops. Yet, while previous technological revolutions brought deep transformation, this time, I believe, it's different, because artificial intelligence is transforming it at an altogether different speed. As the race to make these systems even more powerful accelerates, artificial intelligence will soon emerge in everywhere, everything, all at once, as the famous movie says it, reinventing entire sectors. Now, with the appearance of the latest wave of generative artificial intelligence, OECD, the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, predicts that AI would radically transform more than 1.1 billion jobs in the next 10 years. Given the impressive new technologies that have arrived since, some say this seems like an almost bashfully conservative estimate. Experts say indeed that digital technologies are helping transform education from an industrial revolution-based, one-size-fits-all paradigm where students receive the same information at the same time and at the same pace, akin to an assembly line, to one that can be self-paced, adaptive, and personalized, focusing on the learner. It's a huge opportunity for all of us to grasp. But, we should not forget that education is and should remain a deeply human act, rooted in social interaction. To come back to the beginning of my speech. Investing in technology is important, but investing in human capacity is equally important in order to narrow the existing educational divides. Teachers, educators, educational institutions, and systems. We should not forget either, and I would like to emphasize this strongly, that education is also about instilling the so much needed today soft skills, leadership, emotional intelligence, critical thinking, listening, conflict solving, empathy, intercultural and communication skills. Artificial intelligence can formulate responses, but humans need to formulate the idea and communicate them effectively. So, to end my speech, let me quote something that Albert Einstein famously said: "The most important human endeavor is the striving for morality in our actions. Our inner balance and even our very existence depend on it. Only morality in our actions can give beauty and dignity to life." And I believe these words of a famous scientist who transformed science in his time resonate deeply with the words of UNESCO's constitution that have not aged a day. A peace based exclusively upon the political and economic arrangements of governments would not be a peace which could secure the unanimous, lasting, and sincere support of peoples of the world. Peace must be founded, if it is not to fail, upon the intellectual and moral solidarity of mankind. I believe this forum will take forward these messages. Thank you for your attention.
네, 대단히 고맙습니다. 제10대 유네스코 사무총장
Thank you so much. So we had a special lecture, a keynote speech from Ms. Irina Bokova. She stressed the importance of education and some of the diverse moral issues arising from the remarkable advancement of science and technology. She focused on humanism and humanities. In between, you may have watched on the screen, her presentation can be seen in this graphics, as you can see on the screen right now. So I sincerely expect that today's keynote speech is deeply engraved in your minds like this graphics. And with education and culture, we sincerely hope that we can achieve the great humanity value. I would like to give my deep thanks again to Ms. Irina Bokova. So with her keynote speech, we are coming to the end of the opening session of the 10th 21st Century Human Value Forum. So I would like to give my deep thanks to all of you who joined us for the opening ceremony. For the following 3 days, I would like to ask for your active participation and kind interests. So this is the end of the opening ceremony. Thank you very much.
네, 잠시 안내 말씀드리겠습니다.
So let me give you a housekeeping note. There will be another session in this room from 4 p.m. in this grand ballroom. We are going to have a special session on International Humanities City Conference. So I would like to ask for your active participation and kind interest in the special session as well. Thank you.